Hussein on my Ferrari. Don't need no kids for my Hussein on my Bugatti. Push the button, push the button. Don't need no kids for my Hussein on my Ferrari. Don't need no kids for my Hussein on my Bugatti. Push the button, push the button, push the button.
How y'all doing out there? We'd like to welcome y'all to Sports Talk with Ford and Ford, or Ford and Son. Hey, we like that Sanford and Son. Hey, we about to hit him. We about to hit him with a whole new concept. This is something, son. I'm glad you invited me and asked me to join you on this, because I haven't seen nothing like this on YouTube, where you have a father and son can sit here and chat it up about sports, and however they want it. You know what I mean?
Gonna be pushing buttons. Y'all better stay tuned. Y'all better stay tuned.
Yes, sir. So to let y'all know, we talk. If y'all have any questions, we talk football. We're both Browns fans, so we go deep and hard, as far as our fandom and our understanding about the Browns. But we talk about other teams, other players, things like that. But you'll mostly hear us talk about and break down the Browns and give our predictions on other games as well. If y'all have any questions, feel free to let us know. We'll chop it up. We'll talk about it.
Yes, sir. Comment down below for sure. This goes, even deeper than sports. We're going to be talking about things that most people, as kids, even if you're adults, your parents still going to see you as kids. So, from kids to parents, talking, from father to son, son to father, asking those hard to ask questions, having in-depth conversations, There's going to be issues. There's going to be problems. There's going to be laughs. There's going to be, we don't cry, so I can't say there's going to be any tears, but we will.
We might get quiet.
Right.
If you see us getting quiet, we crying on the inside, but you won't see them running down the cheeks unless we have to put one in the dirt, rest in peace, and celebrate their life. You understand? Other than that.
You already know. Anyways, this is Evolving Wayne. Got my father here. We're about to go ahead and do this, this breakdown of sports. We're going to get into basically a lot. You just got to listen to it all. We're going to go from all or nothing and all or something. It's just going to be everything in between. So,
we're just going to push a couple buttons. That's all.
It's gonna be some.
Hey, you know what? Son, the first button we're gonna push, because us being Browns fans, we got to go ahead and chop it up and get this elephant out the room right quick, because we're finding out it's a fine line between those that believe in Baker and those that don't. Where do you fall? We might as well go ahead and start it out the gate like that. We can move on, because there's some other things I want to talk about.
You put me in the hot seat. We're going to start with our kryptonite. All right. I used to be a believer. When we drafted him. I wanted him over Saquon, because at that point, those were our two options. Either we grab Baker or we grab Saquon. I'm glad we got Baker over Saquon, because Saquon ain't doing anything. But neither is Baker.
Yeah, but remember, there was another option, though. There was another option. Remember, I sent you footage of Josh Allen. Remember, he was in the running for Wyoming. He was another quarterback we was looking at, but we took Baker and didn't take Josh. And Josh right now is having a better career than Baker.
He is. And I think we took him because Baker, in hindsight, looked like a dog. You got to think he walked on to multiple college teams, took his position and he balled out. But we all know that college and the NFL, two complete different beasts. So once Baker got in, Tyrod went out, Baker got in. I mean, he got a cannon. You can't take that away from the kid. He got a cannon.
Right.
He could throw the ball. He looked decent. Everybody had hope. You get to last year. We went to a playoff. We won a game in the playoffs, slaughtered the Steelers. We had hope. We do everything we're supposed to do in the draft. We come into the season, and then Baker is just pitiful, pathetic. I mean, I can't find any other quarterback that he is better than right now. And I'm even going to lump in the Jets quarterback. I'm going to lump in Jacksonville's quarterback. I'm going to lump in rookie Justin Fields for the Bears. I'm going to lump in the Lions and their backup. So,
so let me just lay this on you then. All right. Our defense in the last 10 games, let's see, 10 games, has held our opponents with less than 16 points. If we would have scored 17 points in 5 of those games, we'll be 8-4 right now.
It falls on Baker. It falls on Baker. We have too many weapons. You can't tell me that. I mean, Nick Chubb by himself can score 17 points. Granted, he gets the carries. He's not getting them, right? So the offense we've been running, we've been putting a lot of our future on Baker, essentially. I mean, he ran OBJ out because he wasn't targeting him. He iced him out, right? He's throwing his star receivers into the line, getting them crumble or, whatever. Like, he picks and chooses when he wants to be good. Do I doubt that he has the ability to be able to make these passes? No, I don't doubt that. But I think that his ego is worth more to him than the ability and the win, right? Because I witnessed him throw 2 similar passes, one to a lesser than receiver. And I'm not saying, your DPJs and your Higgins are terrible, but they don't get as much, of the limelight as OBJ does or a Juice does. So he'll throw 2 identical passes, one to DPJ, one to Landry, throw it behind Landry on the ground to where he got to, turn into Tasmanian devil to catch it, but then throw one to DPJ 70 yards, and it's the perfect pass and right in his hand. I mean, there's no hesitation, right? So I think he picks and chooses.
Right.
He picks and chooses what he wants to do and when he wants to do it, based off the ego.
Yeah, and I think and he's been exposed. He's been exposed as not the leader that he says he is.
Right.
The media want to put him up, to be this golden child, this, Heisman Trophy winner. He's supposed to be, technically, when you get drafted #1 and you're a Heisman Trophy winner, you're supposed to be that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's not living up to those measurables. And I think that's where a lot of us are, as fans, falling short, because we assumed that him being the #1 pick, being a franchise quarterback, that we wouldn't go through these slumps that we haven't, especially in the second year of the same system with the same players.
Right. And that's,
they want to talk about his injuries.
Right. And if they were that bad, then he should sit out. Because I trust Keenum to be able to do what is necessary. Do I think that Keenum can take us to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. But what I can say is that he will get his job done. It may not be a beautiful win, but he will at least win. With Baker, we're not even getting that. Right? I mean, you got it.
We ain't even putting up points.
Right. I mean,
No, we had
Baltimore
4 interceptions.
interceptions. I knew where you was going with this. 4 interceptions, and we didn't have a touchdown until what was it? Third quarter, fourth quarter.
Son, we didn't even get a point per interception. We had 3 points of 4 interceptions.
Right. We had. I knew this game.
But so
Our defense did their job, right? This was the
our
healthiest
defense been
defense.
doing their job.
But this is the first week we've had an entirely healthy defense. And it showed. I mean, every single play. I mean, they held Lamar Jackson to minimal amount of points, right? You can't do much about field goals. If they get, for one, Baltimore has the iron leg, the iron boot of kickers. No matter where you put that guy on the field, he can hit a field goal. So
yeah,
I'm not going to say that it was a defense fault that they had, but we had them at, what was it, 9 points, 3 field goals?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
4
Man,
interceptions,
listen, son,
3 field goals, halftime.
I done heard everything all week because me being here in the bus, I tend to listen to a lot of the Cleveland Browns talking heads, so I can get a feel of temperature of the room. I done heard receivers drop balls. I done heard receivers couldn't get open. I knew it was going to be a bad day in the first quarter. Matter of fact, it was the first drive. Because remember, the first drive he came out and he threw the ball, right?
Right.
Anytime we have put Baker in a position where he threw more than 25 balls, we are 1-9. Anytime he has to put the team on his back, we are 1-9 or 2-8, somewhere in that ballpark when he comes out throwing. So they tried to say the offensive line wasn't blocking, so we couldn't get the run game established. See, I keep hearing these different narratives thrown out because they're trying to get away from making Baker feel like he's insignificant.
Right.
You understand? Because with all this stuff that's going on, there's only one nucleus, and that's the quarterback.
Right.
You know how many times Aaron Rodgers done threw the ball to Cobbs and Cobbs done dropped the ball? Did it stop him from going back to him? No.
Right.
He sometimes walk out the game with 18 targets by himself. So I need someone to explain to me why is it that, one, we let go of OBJ. Now they say we don't have receivers that can get open or make separation.
That doesn't make sense.
It don't.
And
then
then
this is a franchise quarterback. How come you can't throw a receiver open?
Right.
Why somebody got to be wide open before you can hit him? That's why he always double clutches his passes, because if you're not open when he intends to throw it, he brings it back and wait for you to get open for him to, release the ball.
Right.
Man,
instead of putting it in the air and letting you run.
He tried to throw.
Yeah.
Man, he looked like a little Oompa Loompa out there when the ball came out his hand. I said, you got to be kidding me.
But that was the whole game. But then they're trying to throw to open up the run when we don't need anything to open up the run. For one, Hunt came back. Between Chubb and Hunt, you need them to open up the pass. Not vice versa. You run that ball, you run it down their throat, because there's one thing for certain, two things for sure. Both of the running backs we got, their yards after contact is phenomenal. no matter how you swing it.
Yeah, but they was getting hit in the backfield. Baltimore played a Bears defense, so they had upwards of nine men in the box.
Fair.
Because
But if you
we've been
think that
exposed.
Kareem Hunt can't hurdle 8 of them and run through the 9th one, I mean, these are all right. Let's step off of Kareem Hunt and go to Chubb. This is a person that does not speak the entire game. The only thing he does when he shows up on game day is work. He puts in the work. Give him a shot because his eyesight, for one, is better than Baker's. Right? He gonna see an opening before Baker would.
And that's where part of it lies on Stefanski, because what he was doing was he was having 3 tight ends,
right,
offensive line, 1 receiver. Now, what that does is that invite a defense to put 9 people in the box.
Right.
So if you want your running game, because they played right into what Baltimore wanted. Baltimore's going to do the same thing New England did to Cleveland, which was try to take the run game away, and put it on Baker's back. The memo's out to everybody in the NFL. Baker ain't winning shit by himself. It has to be perfect. He can't do it without a run game. They done already established this. So defenses are coming at us in that manner. So what Stefanski was trying to do was allow Baker to force them to come out that 9-man box by, doing the shifting, taking the tight ends and putting them out and the slots and out deep, thinking that the defense was going to have to go out with him. The problem was he wasn't doing that when he was running. He was trying to run with the tight ends in, and all that noise in there, they couldn't get a push.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if he would have came out of that 12 package or the tight ends, however they want to name it, and he would have brought some wide receivers out and made them go into a nickel, now you give Chubb and Hunt some room to work within the trenches because they don't have all their bodies down there either to block or to try to elude in order to get yards.
Right.
You see, it is fucked up that we say this because Baltimore has one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. They are in the bottom 25 in their secondary. So if you Stefanski, we can loosen them up just by hitting some passes.
Right.
My bad. We got Baker.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
that's why we need Case, because Case is going to hit those necessary passes. He don't got half the arm Baker got. No. But if we only throwing 10 yards at a time anyways, why leave Baker in there with a messed up labrum, a messed up heel? I mean, he's essentially he's Mr. Potato Head, and we just keep putting parts onto his body and throwing him into the fire. I mean,
he wants people to think he's Mr. Potato Head. He's not that injured. He's not. Bruh, it was Jim Donovan, one of the Cleveland Browns play callers.
Right.
He came out today. Well, it wasn't today. It was Monday when I was listening to him. And he was on the Big Show. He was like, I didn't see Baker really hurt out there.
Right.
This somebody who watches and calls the game. He said, I didn't really see Baker. I couldn't tell he was injured until things started going wrong, and then he started limping. So he go from being a quarterback to being in a Progressive commercial by the second half. No, This the best acting I done seen since. Well, I guess him and Will Smith going after that Oscar for the role that Will Smith did in King Richard. He might have his hands full with Baker and this, I'm an NFL quarterback role he got going on right now.
Right. I can't. I can't do. I just want to win. Like, I feel like for Stefanski to get Coach of the Year and then come back and give us this type of season.
And that's where it's so hard, because a lot of people now are starting to question Stefanski, but they wasn't questioning last year when he was calling these plays. We was running pretty much the same plays, just in different variations because of who he was playing. So how come last year he was able to do this stuff? I understand defenses have film and stuff.
Right.
If we notice anything about Stefanski, he would change his game plan up from one game to the next.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you running the same offensive back preseason. Everybody's saying we got one of the best teams on paper next to Tampa Bay. And then we get out here and put this product out here. And for real, all it is Baker. Baker, if you notice, when all that went down, the light was on. But what you gonna do now, Baker? OBJ ain't here. He goes out late. He lays 40 on Cincinnati. Right? Nothing wrong with it. Press conference, he talking. Nothing wrong with his shoulder, his back, his knee, his hip, his heel. Nothing wrong. The very next game, when he had trouble, he get booed. Now all of a sudden he's injured again. You see what I'm saying? And he can play the narrative. He can play the victim right now, but I guarantee you, he can't bullshit them athletes in that locker room, bro. They see exactly what we see because we play sports. We know competition. We know how to read men. We know he's a paper tiger. They know it, and it's hard for them to go out there and give their all, which they're supposed to do as professional, knowing that they don't believe in this quarterback. You want to know another example? When Lamar Jackson scrambled, and he out-scrambled three of our defensive line. Everybody mad because Myles Garrett went over there and shook Lamar's hand for scoring that touchdown.
Right.
Let's look at it from a different way. If we had a quarterback that inspired his players, like Lamar inspired that team, after 4 interceptions, they still out there playing like dogs. And we got this buster on the sideline that we got to believe in, and we out here busting our ass. We hold these motherfuckers to 16 points, and we can't score 17?
It don't sound right. It don't sound right at all.
No, and it don't feel right. The players is seeing it, and even Andrew Berry, he see it. His press conference today, he was like, he's been checked. He's practicing. If he goes out on the field and he's playing, we expect him to play at a high level. They're not seeing it. So they're gonna let him play his way out. And he got a 5th year on him, so he can be there next year.
Right.
And then they're gonna see what they can do after that. They can't get no one in the trade this year. I guarantee you, they're gonna try to go after Deshaun Watson,
which we need to do because he'll fit into our offense.
No.
He'll fit perfectly into our offense. We have enough weapons.
It'll be a swap. That way Baker can go over there. He can start anew. And it's not to say that he might get back to how he was in college. We never know.
Right.
But this shit he doing right now, how he playing right now, he's just an average quarterback.
Right. And it makes me feel some type of way because you know how big of Browns fans we are. And last year we were doing our thing. Like we didn't have the best season, but I mean there was hope. We was at countless amount of games. Right? Now I
Right.
don't even want to go to a game because I know, like, and brief pause for all of my fans that don't know, I am in Florida. So I do reside in Florida, but I do travel back to my hometown of Columbus 24/7. Well, really not 24/7, as much as I can, but I do make it back. Now, I was in Columbus for the Detroit game. I opted to detail a car over going to the game.
Right.
Because even though Detroit was winless, there was no way that I would be okay going to that game. I mean, I simply couldn't do it. I feel like
it's hard because we seen it. We seen an offense that we knew. You know, we was like we played Tennessee last year. Went up in them quick, fast and in a hurry. We put 40 up on them. They got a way better defense, and we can't put up 17 this year.
Right. But see, here's the thing. We're not a come from behind team. So even allowing them to get 9 points on us before half was too much.
Right.
Because we don't got the quarterback that can come from behind. So
facts.
We're not coming from. We have more weapons than just about everybody. And if you mean to tell me that Tom Brady can go to a new team, take one tight end and take it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, and we got 15 weapons and can't win a regular postseason game. I mean, a regular season game. There's a problem, right? And then we get chance after chance. Now, when that Baltimore game, they left Baker with a minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. We needed a touchdown, but we couldn't even get a first down.
No.
We couldn't even get a first down.
Yeah, but the narrative on that is we had 2 drop balls.
But here's my problem. Why are we trusting Baker, right? I mean, you're supposed to, as far as having a minute and 52 seconds left, any stellar team will tell you you gave their quarterback too many times. You talk about your Aaron Rodgers, your Tom Brady, hell, your Lamar Jackson, right? You talk about these people, you gave them too much time, they got a minute and 52 seconds. Well, Baker will never be in that conversation. So what we need to do is we need to use that 1 minute and 52 seconds and put it in our running back's hands, or keep running those crazy ass plays where Jarvis Landry ends up hiking the ball and he's throwing it, because we got a better chance at him finding somebody downfield than Baker finding somebody downfield. Now, if we were to run the ball, Chubb and Hunt know what their assignment is, right?
Right.
So if we got a minute and 52 seconds left, they will maybe take 10, 15 seconds off the clock. They probably going to get a first down, but they're most definitely going to get out of bounds because you can't tackle them easy. So their knees will not touch the ground until they get out of bounds. I mean, we've seen it last year when Nick Chubb, he ran all the way down. Who was it against? Was it against the Steelers?
No, what the Steelers? Because we was at that game.
No. What, Raider? No. I'm trying to think who it was against last year. But Nick Chubb broke free. There was nobody within 20 yards of him. He got down to the 1 yard line and then ran out of bounds. So that way we could drain the clock and not give their quarterback too much time.
Look, they done now said that you can give Baker a whole quarter, he won't bring a team back.
He can't.
They start taking a knee on us in the fourth quarter, and they will punt the whole quarter. We still will not put up enough points.
The only time our team is hitting on all cylinders and makes Baker look somewhat good is when we get a pick six, right? When we played Cincinnati, that was a fake game, in my opinion. I mean, it was a good game. It was a good score. Don't get me wrong. But Baker wasn't doing anything or even looking remotely decent until Denzel Ward took a 97-yard pick to the house, right? In which Baker did not block for. Or, like, I mean, you know, any of these picks he's not blocking for. So you get, when Baker throws a pick, he just gonna sit in the middle of the field, claim that he hurt, which is why he threw the pick, right? But then he throw a touchdown, and he gonna run this 70 yards on a messed up hill, take the end zone to celebrate with the teammate, right? Because he want to be in the limelight. You get your Denzel Ward. Now, our defense is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like, Denzel Ward has had an interception in the Bengal game. He had an interception in the Detroit game. So the only game in between those two was, if I'm not mistaken, the Patriots. We didn't do anything with the Patriots. They're the
Patriots.
So he had Cincinnati, Detroit, which was 2 games later. And then he also had one excuse me,
against Baltimore.
But so did every other player on the defense, and we still couldn't score.
No,
I mean, at this point, our lineman was intercepting it. Like, Lamar was trying to give us a touchdown. And from what it looked like, I mean, 6 plays, 3 interceptions.
3 of them was in the first half.
Right.
On our side of the field.
So we get the ball, get it intercepted on our own 30. And not only can Baker not put it in the end zone, but our kicker can't put it in. Come on, man. Now this kicker all year has hit some crazy field goals.
Yeah.
We give him a 40-yard field goal. He can't hit it.
Right. I'm tough. The locker room is not what it. They want us to think it's a unified front, bro. It's not. It's not. It's not one team. Because if you notice, after the game came out, did you know Hunt's dad tweeted something about Baker not being gun shy?
I seen that. And they can't crucify Hunt for it because Hunt is a running back. So if you got a running back's dad targeting the quarterback for his throwing, same thing Odell's dad did, right? So now these are 2 players, 2 elite players.
Right.
That had their parents say something. One, it directly impacted his child's position. And then you got the running back, which his dad said something, it don't got nothing. All he got to do is hand the ball to Kareem. So it's not like he really has to throw it to him. But even he's calling the same thing that OBJ's dad was calling. And
it ain't no coincidence.
It's not. Right? But then you got Baker's wife saying that everybody need to be more tough. But it's easy to be tough when you're faking your injuries.
And there lies the problem, son. Just to be 100 with you, the fact that OBJ's dad can tweet, that out, Hunt's dad can tweet it out, and both of those players are looked at differently because their dad did it, but Baker's wife is doing this on a constant basis, and he's not being held accountable for her actions. That's where the team is divided because they like, hold on, you want us to be smart, professional, and accountable, but you're not holding him accountable for what he's doing. And I keep telling people it's harder for a man to accept a man telling his wife something that goes on in the locker room than a man telling his dad something. You see what I'm saying? When you talk to your dad, you're looking for advice. You know what I mean? You're looking to get it off your chest. It's a different dynamic when you have that conversation. But for Baker to have this conversation with his wife, it's considered pillow talk. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're talking to her about things that are sacred to men, that you have these conversations with them in the locker room, but then you go back and tell your wife what y'all talked about in the locker room.
Right.
That's why they're divided. That's why you see them not playing on one page, because no one believed in Baker. Last year, everybody was looking at Baker like, yeah, Baker, you're going to lead us. Now they're looking at Baker like, can you lead us? You know what I mean? It's not the same. And he see it. He know it. He been exposed.
100%. 100%. He's been 100% exposed. He has lost the entire team. There literally is, I don't think anybody that actually believes that he can get it done. I mean, from coaches to GM to owners to fans. I mean, you get booed. You win. No. The Browns win a game. You get booed. But you a part of the Browns, right? So now everybody yelling out Nick Chubb's name. Meanwhile, you getting booed. Now you're refusing to talk to the press because you already know what is coming your way.
Right.
Like, you know exactly what is coming your way. So you're basically trying to put a wool over everybody's eyes and make everybody believe that you're the one that's going to get it done. Meanwhile, we have a backup quarterback that may not be great, right? I'm not by any means saying that Case is great. However,
Yeah.
I do trust that Case and Stefanski has a bond that Baker and Stefanski can never have because they came from the same team. Case has played in Stefanski's offense
Right.
and knew how to be successful at it. If I'm not mistaken, he took them to the playoffs as a backup quarterback. So if Case Keenum's calling is being a backup, let him be a backup. But right now, he needs to be our starter, and we need to find somebody else to be on our team because Baker can't put up 17 points on teams that's only scoring field goals. We played soccer, kickball for half the game. Half the game, it was a battle of the kickers.
Bruh, kudos to the defense because the defense did their damn thing.
Right.
Sunday night.
You couldn't ask for anything else out of them. You couldn't ask for anything else out of them.
JOK.
And that's my favorite defender. I got, and it normally changes week to week, honestly, as far as defense goes. But JOK has been at the top of my list since we drafted him because he has heart. He has a killer mentality. He is going to find the ball. He ain't going to miss a beat. And if he does, it's tenfold the next play. He's coming right back to it. And he's going to beat himself up after the game. He's going to watch camera on himself. And then he is going to make himself better because you are your worst critique. And then you got Denzel Ward. I've been on the fence with him over the past couple of years because I don't really know what to expect out of him. I feel like now he has at least proven himself to me that he is going to be a top tier cornerback for us. Like, he is going to go out there and he's going to do. But not only is he doing that, but he's leading my third favorite person, Greg Newsome, into a superstar role, right? Because Denzel may not be the greatest out of there, but I do believe that Greg is learning a lot from him. And every time they're both on the field, they're both inflicting pain.
Yeah.
So I think that with them two together, it's putting them into this. I mean, I didn't forget all about Greedy. Like, once Greg started playing the way he has and Denzel started consistently every week, doing something, and it ain't got to be too much, right? Just lock your player down or deflate a couple
I said
passes
a
or
lot of that early had to do with the defense that he was calling. They was playing a lot more zone on the back end.
right.
That don't play into Denzel's game. Denzel is a lockdown corner. So
Right.
if he's man to man on somebody, he can play more aggressive, and lock down. Whereas Newsom, on the other hand, he could play man to man, but he's more like a Sherman Richardson.
Right.
He can play zone at a high level. So if you play man on one end, zone on the back end, you play into both of their strengths, and it helped their defense. That's why I think it helped them out this week because of the defense that was called. Now let me get back to the linebacker. Dog, in 2 years, mark my words, our defense is going to be a lot better than it is now.
JOK.
I listened to an interview with that young man, and there was some things that he said that resonated to me. They was like, they asked him, do he think that this was like his best game that he has played? He was like, well, statistically, yeah. He said, because, in the stats, it looked good. They said, well, what makes you stand out from any other defender? He said, I really don't stand out. He said, I just make a decision and I put effort into it. He said, if we play with effort, it's nothing we can do. He said, I shed blocks. They say I'm small. No, his whole mind, the way he think about it, once he become a leader and they start feeding off his energy, our defense is going to be off the hook. Secondary and the defensive line, because of his mentality of, that hunger that I'm just going to go out there and play ball, not think about it. And he's 9 times out of 10 in the right place, to make tackles. And that's what we went out and got him for, was for games like this when we have to play Lamar or scrambling quarterbacks.
Right, for sure. Like he is phenomenal. I mean, as far as a rookie goes, right? Like he's not missing things that normal, experienced vets will, miss, right? I mean, he holds a mindset and he holds himself accountable. And that's all you can ask out of a person, right? I mean,
right.
It's one thing to hold accountability to the whole team, which I think every person should do. But it starts with holding yourself accountable. It starts with, correcting your wrongs. And once people see you doing that, they'll follow suit. You can't go to everybody and expect them to be better, but you stay mediocre. Right? It resonates with everybody. So when JOK gets out there, all right, he's going to give you 110%, 150% of everything he got. And if he falls short, we can't beat him up more than he's going to beat him up. Like, and
the only problem I have, son, is that when we come out and play defense again, what I've noticed about our defensive staff is that they pretty much change those linebackers around. You know what I mean? It's like, I know he's been injured for a couple weeks, but like last week, he was upset because he didn't know he was on a pitch count. Like they only had him playing certain plays. This week, this Sunday, they had him in as starting linebacker. So he moved out Mac Wilson, Taki, Smith. This kid is out there balling, and he made a difference because normally Lamar Jackson would have rushed for over 100 yards on us. He got barely, I think he had like 62 or 63 yards rushing.
Right. And that's incredible, out of what we're seeing out of our defense, given the fact that last year our problem was we didn't have depth, right? Because then everybody's getting injured. So you said it, and for those of you, yeah, let me put my picture back up. I don't know if you can see me or not, but for those of you that don't know, we did a rough draft how this was going to go last week, and one thing that he said last week was basically that after the first week of football, nobody's 100%, right?
No.
So last year, that was our biggest obstacle because we had good defenders, but we never had them all at the same time because one person would go down, one person would, and then, I mean, you throw people, we had some defenders that, I mean, they were supposed to be defenders, but
well, someone was practice
more
squad
practice.
players.
I mean,
they brought up.
We talked about him last week. What was the safety that I could not stand? Was it Schobert?
AJ Green. AJ Green was that, you talking about that backup cornerback?
Yeah. Couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand I want to say his name was Schobert.
Oh, the linebacker.
Could not stand him, right?
Oh, you talking about Sendejo.
Oh, Sendejo. There we go. Sendejo. That is who I was thinking of. I couldn't stand it because he can't tackle. How do you play defense and you cannot tackle? I mean, he couldn't tackle anybody. The smallest people, the biggest people. He couldn't tackle not a single soul. He couldn't tackle the running back. Couldn't tackle the quarterback. Couldn't tackle the wide receiver. He couldn't tackle the ball if it was in front of him on the ground.
So last year we gave Joe Woods pretty much a pass because he didn't have the talent.
Right.
That's one thing that Andrew Berry went out the free agency and in the draft was to go out and get, to upgrade the talent. As you see, now you got Denzel, you got Newsome on the other side. Now we got Grant Delpit back. You got Johnson the third, back there. So he has the pieces. It's just now really starting to come together as a unit. You know what I mean? Even with Myles Garrett, he had one sack. But the one that played on the opposite side,
Clowney.
Name escaped me. Clowney, he's playing. Now you see how he reacted when he threw that touchdown pass. Oh, he was pissed. He took his helmet off and threw it down. So let me ask you a question. Some people said they rather have the reaction that Clowney had, or are you comfortable with the reaction that Myles Garrett had after that play?
I'm comfortable with Myles as a sign of respect.
Okay.
Right. Shaking his hand, I don't see it as being disrespectful. It's good sportsmanship. And what that shows to me is that, A, we are imploding, right? Our whole locker room is imploding. But that's the type of player that Myles is, right? Myles will congratulate, even though it was against him. He will congratulate it because that's the type of player he is. He just wants to play football, and you could ask for more, like from a person that just wants to play football. He recognizes good football. Myles also came out when the whole OBJ thing had happened, and he was like, we didn't know anything. Nobody said anything, with us. And he was, rightfully so, pissed because whether anybody wants, because OBJ was on offense and he was on defense, a lot of people are like, well, it should be split down the middle. Why are you concerned with? But that's his team, right? Myles Garrett is a leader. So when you don't know that one of your superstars, whether it be on your side of the ball or on the opposite side of the ball, is going to be leaving, you're gonna be hurt. You're gonna be upset because it's like, okay, as one of the captains of this team, why didn't nobody talk to us about this? Right?
Right.
Why you just gonna send a person away and we gotta go into this locker room with everybody at the end of the day, right? We gotta keep everybody level-headed. Now, to play devil's advocate, I understand Clowney's frustration. But what I need him to do is be better. Like, I need him to, like, as a Browns fan, you know, we have a lot of hot-head people, a lot of I'm going to do it myself people, a lot of I'm pissed that this happened and I'm pissed that that happened. And what I wanted out of Clowney is just shut up and get a sack. I mean, you can't be mad if you ain't getting a sack, right?
See, that's the misconception that people have of Clowney. He's not your defensive end that's going to be in the, the sack coddle. You know what I mean?
Right.
He gonna get his fair share, but he's more of a disruptor. Like, you notice that they don't like to run to his side, or if they try to run an option to his side, he can react a lot better. He's better at stopping the run than Myles Garrett. Like now, you see more people are running to Myles Garrett's side, having Myles Garrett make a choice whether they doing a dive and then keeping it run to the outside. You can't put Clowney in that position because Clowney is more adept to disrupting that play than Myles Garrett is. Myles Garrett is a beast when it comes to rushing the quarterback, but when it comes to stopping a run or disrupting a play to your side, Clowney is doing that. So I don't want him to, get a bum rap because, I mean, frankly, we could bring Vernon Davis back.
Yeah, no. But no, can't do that. But what I need him to disrupt. What I need him is to not lose his cool, because right now our defense is the only thing holding us together. So the last thing we need is a person. I mean, all right, after the game is over and you gave everything you got, cool, throw a fit. But when you throw a fit on the sideline, it tends to be seen. So now everybody knows that you're frustrated. So now it's kind of like with injuries, right? They know Baker is injured. So they say, right? So, but they try to attack the side they know he's injured on, right? They start attacking your weaknesses. So the second you show them a weakness, they will pry on that to win the game. I want everybody to be like Chubb. That's what I gotta say about it. I want everybody to just shut up and play ball.
But everybody, there's, and just playing football, there's vocal leaders. There's, people like Nick Chubb that lead by example.
Right. But I don't want
it's hard because now the team is fractured. I don't care how they want to slice it. The office know by making that move with OBJ has did something internal to the football team that they didn't see coming. They thought that by getting him away, it would dead all the naysayers, so on and so forth. But what it did is it almost had players choose a side.
Right.
Because when they didn't know that OBJ was leaving, I know Landry knew. I told you I knew how he knew. But the rest of the players, you took an icon. OBJ is not just a number one receiver, you know what I mean, an all-pro receiver. He's an icon. You know how damaging that is for let's take football off the table right quick, all right? As a businessman, if you have an icon like OBJ on your team, that makes your team relevant.
Right.
You selling jerseys. You have a pop star on your team. Now, he can still play. The problem was he couldn't play with Baker because Baker, if you see now, we have more passes to tight ends than we do to wide receivers this year.
Right. And I think that is by design, not from the higher ups, not from the coaches, not from the GM, not from the owners. I think, and I 100% believe that is Baker's agenda. He knows that the wide receivers that he has are deadly. So if he ices all of them out and throws these little passes to Hooper, Bryant, Joku, right, then he is getting all of the praise. And I think that's what he wants. He doesn't want Juice to have the praise because he wants to be what everybody is talking about. But in doing so, he had the exact opposite effect because Chubb got praised and he got booed by our fans. Now, we're Browns fans. We are as loyal as they come when it comes to a team. So for our fans to boo you at home as we're winning, for our fans to give up on you and we're Browns fans, there is no explanation that you can tell me other than you gotta go. Because, like, all right, I go to a Browns backers group every single week, every single Sunday, right? And there's always mixed feelings in the room, who likes Baker, who doesn't. One thing that is 100% certain, no matter when I go, what time I get there, what time I leave, is after every first down, the president yells, Pittsburgh still sucks, right? So at this point in our season, the only thing that Browns fans are hating more than Pittsburgh is Baker.
Yeah.
And that is a problem. That is a severe problem because you have the most loyal fan base. You know, you have the most loyal fan bases. And Baker made a comment, and I briefly seen it. It kind of irritated me, so I clicked off of it. But he had said, I am not listening to the fans because these are the same fans that are still making noise while we're on offense trying to run plays. My guy, if you can't do your job with noise and you know that every single stadium seats thousands of people, you shouldn't be a quarterback. Our fans are rooting for you. So that should do nothing but give you the motivation, the fuel you need to put your foot on people's necks and get a win. But now that's the problem. So you want all of the fans to shut up while you throwing the ball so you can concentrate on the incomplete pass. I can't do it. Like, our defense, or when we're on defense and it's third down, you've been to the stadium, we both been to the stadium, it gets loud in there. And I mean, even, you know, with the COVID regulations last year and every other season, we had half you couldn't tell that it wasn't at full capacity with those fans in the building. So when you go from a third down, being on defense, and you're trying to get the ball back and disrupt other people's quarterback, right? You get super loud. But when it's first down, and we like, all right, we got the ball back. Now is our chance to win. And then you're rooting for your team. How does that become a problem? How is that more than what you can handle? Now, this is not your first year. You are not a rookie. You're going into your fifth year, which means you know before COVID what the noise sound like, during COVID what it sound like, and after COVID what it's going to sound like. So, you know all of these things. But now you saying that the fans are a problem because they're making noise while you trying to throw the ball. It makes
it's about he's a me first. He's a front runner. Adversity. I mean, I'm even tired of even talking about the cat. You know what I mean? I'm frustrated because when we was drafted, something in me was like, nah, this ain't the quarterback. You know, but we drafted it, so I had to support him. But this shit that he doing now, dog, it hurt me. Yeah, it hurt me because I feel like he's holding the Browns hostage. You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain percentage of Browns fans that, well, if we get rid of Baker, we went through 20-something quarterbacks, before we got Baker and got to the playoffs. And I keep telling them, I said, do you understand that at the time we had those quarterbacks, we didn't have a full team? We had a team of 4 free agents. We didn't have the talent that we have now. There's no way in hell that you have all this talent and you cannot. That's even saying, okay, he get up there to the line. If you see that they got 9 men, audible to a pass play and throw a quick slant. You know what I mean? Or throw a bubble. As a quarterback, you have these luxuries, especially in the second year of an offense, of being able to audible out of plays to get your team in the best place. That's what quarterbacks do, but just not this one.